Have you ever felt that pressure at work? The pressure to stay just a little bit longer, to answer emails after hours, to prove your dedication by giving away your personal time for free. This is the story of Leo, a young office worker who found himself in that exact situation. He believed in doing his job and doing it well, but he also believed that his time was his own. His boss, however, saw things very differently. What happened when these two worlds collided is a story about integrity, pressure, and what it truly means to be a good employee. Before we continue with Leo's story, we would love to know where you are watching from. Please let us know in the comments so we can bring you more stories that resonate with you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss our upcoming stories. Now, let's dive in. The large digital clock on the office wall of Innovate Solutions Inc. glowed red, 4:59 p.m. For most people in the marketing department, this was just a suggestion. They continued typing, pretending to be deep in thought, occasionally glancing at the office of their boss, Mr. Henderson. But for Leo, it was a signal. Leo was in his mid-20s, and he was efficient. When he worked, he was completely focused. He didn't waste time with office gossip or long coffee breaks. He simply did his job, and at 4:59 p.m., his last report for the day was sent, his files were saved, and his desk was tidy. The clock ticked over to 5 p.m. With a soft click, Leo closed his laptop. He packed his bag, stood up, and gave a quiet nod to his colleagues. As he walked towards the exit, he could feel their eyes on him. He could almost hear their thoughts. There he goes again. Exactly at 5. He passed the glass office of his manager, Mr. Henderson. Mr. Henderson was a man from a different era. He believed that the number of hours you spent at your desk was a direct measure of your loyalty to the company. He saw Leo leaving and his face tightened into a familiar frown. He shook his head slowly, a look of deep disappointment in his eyes. One of the senior employees, Mark, who was always trying to impress the boss, walked over to Mr. Henderson's door. "See, boss? 5 o'clock on the dot. Some people just don't have the passion." Mr. Henderson sighed, looking at the employees who were still at their desks. "You get it, Mark. You get it. Success requires sacrifice. That's why you're going places." A week later, Leo was called into Mr. Henderson's office for a performance review. "Leo, have a seat," Mr. Henderson said, his voice flat. He gestured to the chair opposite his large, imposing desk. Leo sat down, feeling confident. His performance numbers were excellent. He had met every deadline and his projects were always under budget. "Your work is adequate," Mr. Henderson began, looking at a file. "Your reports are on time. Your tasks are completed." He paused, leaning forward. "But I have to be honest, Leo. Your commitment is a problem." Leo was confused. "My commitment? Sir, I believe my work speaks for itself." Mr. Henderson let out a short, humorless laugh. "Your work? Leo, look around you. Look at Mark, at Sarah, at the rest of the team. They stay late. They push themselves. They are here until 6, sometimes 7 o'clock. They are team players. They show that they care about more than just a paycheck." Leo remained calm. "With all due respect, sir, my contract states my working hours are from 9 to 5. I am highly productive during those hours to ensure I complete all my responsibilities. I don't see the need to stay longer if my work is done." Mr. Henderson's face turned red. "That is the attitude I'm talking about. It's not just about what's in the contract, son. It's about passion. It's about going the extra mile. Promotions, bonuses, those are for people who go the extra mile, not for people who just do the bare minimum." The threat was clear. Leo felt a knot in his stomach, but he didn't back down. "I don't believe doing my job perfectly within my contracted hours is the bare minimum, sir. I believe it's professional." The meeting ended on a cold note. In the weeks that followed, the atmosphere grew worse. Mark and the other loyal employees started to exclude Leo. They would have meetings just after 5 o'clock and not invite him. They would make sarcastic comments as he packed his bag. "Must be nice to have so much free time," Mark would say loudly. Leo felt isolated. He started to question himself. Was he wrong? Was this just how the corporate world worked? But every time he thought about it, he came to the same conclusion. He was giving the company exactly what he had agreed to: 8 hours of focused, quality work. His free time was his own. He would not let them bully him into giving it away. Then, one Tuesday morning, everything changed. An email arrived from the corporate headquarters. It was addressed to all employees. The subject line was, "Urgent, Departmental Audit." The email announced that a surprise audit was being conducted on the marketing department's productivity, timesheets, and overtime expenses. A team from headquarters would be arriving that very day. A wave of panic washed over the office. Leo watched as Mr. Henderson immediately called Mark into his office. Their conversation was quiet, but their faces were full of worry. The other employees, who always stayed late, started whispering nervously to each other. Suddenly, no one seemed very focused on their work. The auditors arrived an hour later. They were two professional, no-nonsense people who set up in a conference room and began calling employees in one by one. When it was Leo's turn, he calmly presented his work logs and project files. The auditor checked his computer's server logs. "So, Mr. Collins," the auditor said, "it shows here you log in at 9 a.m. almost every day and log out right at 5 p.m. "Yes, that's correct," Leo replied. "And yet, your project completion rate is 15% higher than the team average. How do you explain that?" "I focus on my work when I'm here," Leo said simply. "I don't take long breaks and I avoid distractions." The auditor nodded, making a note. Next, Mark was called in. He walked in with a confident smile, but his interview took much longer. Then Mr. Henderson was called in. He was in the conference room for over 2 hours. The next morning, the truth came out. The auditors had uncovered a major fraud. Mr. Henderson had been encouraging his favorite employees to log huge amounts of overtime that they never actually worked. Mark and the others would clock out on paper at 7:30 or 8 p.m. But security camera footage and server logs showed they were leaving the building before 6 p.m. It was a scam. The employees received thousands of dollars in extra pay, and Mr. Henderson received a large bonus for his team's supposed hard work and productivity. It was all built on lies. Leo's records were the key that unlocked the whole scheme. His clean, precise, and honest data was the baseline that proved everyone else was cheating the system. His refusal to stay late wasn't a lack of commitment. It was a lack of corruption. By lunchtime, an email from Human Resources was sent to the entire company. Mr. Henderson, Mark, and 3 other employees had been terminated, effective immediately. The office was quiet and in shock. 2 weeks later, the vice president of the company visited their office. She walked straight to Leo's desk. "Leo Collins," she said with a smile, extending her hand. "I've read the auditor's report. In a department where people were faking their hard work, you were actually doing it. Your integrity and efficiency are exactly what this company needs in a leader." She then made an announcement to the entire department. "I am pleased to announce that Leo Collins will be your new department manager." A few months later, the office had a completely new energy. It was productive, positive, and respectful. As the new manager, Leo encouraged efficiency, not long hours. One evening, the clock on the wall glowed red. 4:59 p.m. Leo stood up from his new office. He looked out at his team. "All right, everyone," he said, his voice clear and calm. "The clock is about to hit 5. You've all done fantastic work today. Now pack up, go home. Spend time with your families, your friends, or just relax. Your time is valuable. We'll see you all tomorrow, refreshed and ready." A smile spread across the office. For the first time, leaving on time wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a sign of a healthy, respectful workplace, led by someone who understood the true meaning of work. So, that was the story of Leo. He taught his entire office that working hard and working long are two very different things. We have a question for you. What do you think about quiet quitting? Is it laziness, or is it a necessary way to set boundaries in today's work culture? Please let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one, and if this story resonated with you, please hit the subscribe button. It's completely free for you, but it helps us a lot to continue bringing you these stories. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day.